Hello, good evening. Today I want to speak about addiction. This is a very dear topic for me, something I really believe I can call myself an expert about because I spent mostly 20 years, working with my addiction. And at the beginning it was addiction, you can call it addiction. It was drinking, smoking, taking drugs. It was heavy stuff. I was being dangerous to myself and to others. But then it continues. I wasn't being so dangerous to myself and to others anymore, but I wasn't really being free. I would still have some addiction. And why is it important to be to understand addiction and to become free from addiction is because one is that if you not free from addiction, if you don't control yourself, probably something else or somebody else will control you. So this is the first thing. The second thing, like you've heard in other videos, I'm a big believer of being able to achieve anything I want in life. I know it's possible, but if I don't control myself, if I say, for example, I want to add this, and to add this, I need to make this, I need to do this, so I need to give up this. If I'm not able to do that, if I'm not able to give something up or to do something that I know I want to do or I need to do, I'm not gonna be able to achieve what I want. So those are the two main reasons why it's important to become free from addiction, to claim that freedom that is within everybody. And so to really understand why am I addicted to something, why I cannot do something or I can not stop doing something. So to me, my whole life was about this. When I was 17, I started drinking, smoking, taking drugs. And the drinking, it was a real problem. Every weekends I would do something crazy. One time I stole my mother's car without driving license. With two of my friends, and I had an accident. I almost killed my friends and other people. It was crazy. And what I did next weekend, again and again and again. And out of a miracle, which I will maybe talk in another video, I managed to stop drinking. And then I thought, okay, now I need to stop smoking, because what I really wanted, it was to gain back that health and that state, emotional state and state of mind which I had when I was a child, which I was feeling very energetic, very excited about life. That's my goal still, and that's my teacher, my child, myself as a child. And so I thought my next wall to overcome is to stop smoking cigarettes. Once I stop smoking cigarettes, I'm free. I can finally gain my health and do what I need to do. So out of another miracle, I stopped smoking after 10 years of trying, which I will tell again in another story. But the point is that when I stopped smoking, it didn't end up there. I found other walls, other things that I was doing that they were going against what I wanted. So eventually I give up all animal products. I start eating only organic. I give up sugar. I give up gluten. And I kept giving up stuff. But what I realized at one point, it was that I would give up things in different ways, with different techniques, but I would still be addicted. I remember when I was working in 2016 in this organic shop, which from time to time I had this trigger where I need to go and eat some energy bar, this organic, gluten-free, whatever, vegan energy bar. And when I was eating the energy bar, maybe a customer would come and I was like, oh, I want to eat my energy bar now. Why is this coming? Or when I would drink a cappuccino or something, I remember it was exactly the same when I used to be at the bus stop when I was like, a child, like 16, and I would light up a cigarette and then the bus would come and I was like, oh. So this thing where I don't enjoy my life because I'm not able to tap into my addiction, I didn't like this feeling. Another thing, it was one day when I was in my studio flat in London. I was enjoying myself. It was my day off. It was 8:30 in the evening, and I needed to. I wanted to eat this chocolatey thing that they were selling in a shop, and the shop would close at 9 in the evening, and it was 8:30 in the evening, and I was like, why do I want to go out now? It's cold. Get my bicycle and run towards before the shop closes just to buy this chocolate thing. Why would I want to? Because I want it. But why? And I get out, I jump on the bicycle, I run, and I went there 10 minutes to 9, I buy my thing, I eat the thing, and then what? I realize, man, I'm addicted. I'm still addicted. I gave up so many things, but I'm still addicted. There is still something going on in me that triggers that reaction of wanting to do something, eat something, drink something. And that is when I realized that there was something here. So I mentioned before in other videos that I did 3 times the Vipassana retreat, which is a 10 days meditation retreat, which you just sit down 1 hour each session for like 12 hours, and you focus on your breath first and then on your feeling, body sensation from top to bottom, bottom to top, top to bottom. And you just observe, you know, and it's hard, it's very difficult. And why? Is that you should be 1 hour, and after like 20 minutes, it feels like it's been 2 hours, and you're sure that the clock is broken, and you open your one eye, and I realized that there was something uncomfortable within me, which I could not face, and I was used to distract from it. And when I was doing this meditation, I realized, oh, I want to distract from this feeling. Let's actually look at this feeling, like they mentioned when what they ask you in the technique. Just observe equanimously, looking at this feeling and let it be. And that is like a purification process. And that's where I learned there was some trigger in me that I was used to distract from. So what I did, it was, again, I was back in London, and I realized all these things, and I started applying this meditation to get rid of these reactions of wanting to do something, to eat something, to drink something. And I started doing a 40 hours fast every week. Every Saturday evening, I would have dinner around 6 p.m. and then I wouldn't eat until Monday morning, 10 a.m. It would be 40 hours not eating, but not only not eating. I wouldn't eat, I wouldn't watch any videos, use my phone, reading, exercising, nothing. Just be with myself. And I spent Christmas and New Year's Eve of 2016 doing that. I would sit in my room and I would stay for 40 hours just doing nothing, just face myself. And I would sit down, close my eyes, and then I would want, you know, all these triggers that start coming. Oh, eat something, drink something, do something, watch something, read something. And then as I wouldn't do those things, the last thing that my ego would try to do is put me asleep. Because the ultimate distraction was to be asleep. And I would stay awake. I would force myself to stay awake and sit down with my eyes closed and face this thing. And I started, you know, in that moment, the purification process starts. Once you start being within your uncomfortability, then is when, and you accept it and you watch it and you observe it and you equanimous about it, it starts melting away. It's like knots that they start being released. And so this was a big part of my understanding of addiction and my becoming free from addiction. But another part, another piece of the puzzle, it was when I learned about nonviolent communication, which again, I spoke about this in many other videos, but we have human needs, universal human needs, that are not only eating and drinking and fucking and whatever. It's also about, for example, you have a need for being understood, you have a need for empathy, you have a need for purpose, you have a need for creativity, for choice, for freedom. All these needs, when they are not getting met, we feel negative emotion. And what we are used to do since child, when we feel negative emotion, we cry, and our parents try to distract us try to make us stop crying. Give us an ice cream, something to eat, something to play with. And that's how I grew up. You know, every time I feel bad, I want to distract from it. So we build our lives based on these distractions, and we confuse it with happiness. But what happens when you face those emotions and you actually think about and try to identify what's the need behind these emotions, then you understand yourself. then you are really free, because first you make yourself free by observing and being able to be within yourself without escaping, and second, you understand yourself, like, oh, this is the need that I have a need for understanding. I need people to understand what I'm feeling, what I'm saying. I need empathy. So what can I do? Oh, I can call my friend and tell him, that friend that always hear me out, and tell him, what I want to be understood about. And that is an action that is towards the satisfaction of my need, as opposed to a reaction made for distract from my emotional pain. So this is, in conclusion, what I've learned through my life experience, my human experience. It was that in order to achieve what I want, I need to be free, and I don't need anybody else to control my life. And in order to do that, I need to be free from my addictions. And my addictions are not only about, you shouldn't be drinking, smoking, taking drugs. I don't care if you smoke, if you drink. Who am I to judge? It's not the problem of doing certain things. The problem is when you doing these certain things, it gets in the way of what you want, and doing these things you don't want to do and you have to do because you can't control yourself. That's what I want to contribute about. So in conclusion, there is these things that is a reaction, and whatever it is, the addiction, it doesn't matter. This reaction comes from not being able to be within ourselves, and meditation and do that, what I just explained, can help you that. And the second piece is that it's about understanding what are our unmet needs and meet those needs. In that moment, we become free. We understand ourselves and we become free. If we decide we want to gain our health, we can do what we say we want to do. If we want to do anything, we can do it, because we can trust ourselves, we can do it. We don't have this reaction patterns where we say in our logic that we will do something or we don't do something, and then when the time comes, we do it. That's what I want to share. That's what I want to share about today. And that would be it. So for you, your next step, what I want you to do is to just noticing when you have these reactions, when these patterns, like if you're looking at compulsory at your phone, if you go and watch porn, or if you go and smoke a cigarette, or if you eat something and deep at night when you come back home and you shouldn't be eating, but you open your fridge and you find something to eat. Every time you encounter these kind of things, stop for just a second and try to observe yourself. Try to accept what's going on within you without having to distract from it, and try to identify the need behind it. Just notice, because just being aware of these things is a big deal. Once you're aware of these things, you can start working towards it, and then you can become free. When you are free, no one controls you anymore. You are independent. I mean emotionally independent. Your happiness doesn't depend on anybody outside of you, anything outside of you. And again, I'm not demonizing any habits. If you want to keep smoking, drinking, eating shit, that's not the point at all. The point is, are you free or you're not free? That's all I want to say for today.